A warm welcome to you wherever it is you reaching us from around the world. This is Enterprise Weekend on Enterprise Television. I am Henry Igwebike. Before we go to our newspaper review segments, we implore you to join us and have a say in what we say by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Enterprise TV 7 and visit our website also at www.enterprisetvnews.com. And right now, we'll be going to our newspaper reviews today, and we have someone I would call a numero uno when it comes to trendy news and analysis in Nigeria, and no other but Dr. Victor Ohai. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning, family.
Welcome to Enterprise Weekend today.
Thank you.
It's been a while, sir.
Indeed. I've been busy.
Welcome to our studios today. So quickly, let's start off our newspaper reviews with the Vanguard newspaper. And we're starting with the big story that says, Tinubu 1 year on, hope deferred, not renewed. And also we have on the top strip of the same newspaper, NJC sets up panel to probe 35 petitions against 8 judges. And also we have on the bottom strip of the same newspaper, 19 states run 433 councils with caretaker committee. Doctor, let's take a look at the big story here. Tinubu 1 year on, hope deferred, not renewed. Do you think this is a perfect submission realistically?
You see, there are those who will say, okay, things will get better, blah, 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 and all that. It's all well and good, but the question I keep asking is, what is your reality at this moment? Secondly, not everybody is going to be around 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years from today. Maybe not even a month from today. What is your reality? What you see now is all that matters to you. Nobody has the next minute. And so in saying that, I think what matters the most is, what are you doing to make life better for people today? And the reason I say so is that whereas the common man is being told to endure, things will get better, the politicians are certainly not enduring, they're enjoying. You can see them allocate the best SUVs to themselves, huge allowances and all that, but the common man is supposed to make the sacrifice. The government came in with a lot of, there was a lot of hope, a lot of expectations, but honestly it was dashed from day one with the removal or the announcement of the removal of subsidy. Maybe if the announcement had not been made, obviously, and to be factual, Buhari did not put it in the, what you call it now, he didn't put it in the budget for the year. So, but there is something known as supplementary budget. I think that the president should have taken time out to sit down and have a discussion with Nigerians. And this is one thing I miss about Babangida. Even if he's going to do something, it gives us an opportunity to debate.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Let's have an opportunity to debate, to remove or not to remove. You might say, yes, you are elected to look at the best interests of the country, and that if you do that, it's never going to happen. But there is no country where you don't get subsidies of one kind or the other. And you subsidize what you have or what you think your citizens need or what you can. I mean, I'll give you a small example. They are subsidizing Hajj now. How does that benefit us? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I say so, and I mean whether Christian or Muslim, before anybody thinks about one religion or the other. 90 billion. The palliative that Dangote shared around the country, 15 billion naira worth. Every single state, thousands and thousands, over 1 million bags of rice, 10 kg bags of rice were shared around Nigeria with 15 billion. Now you're spending 90 billion for how many people? And they say, the VP says so they can go and pray for Nigerians. I think we are not praying enough here. Pilgrimage is an obligation in Islam, for instance, and I expect that It is a personal thing. You go there. And you know why I say this? Because some people are allergies 20 times over. There are very few people who are going for the first time. Why would you subsidize a man who has been to whether Israel, Jerusalem, or Mecca over and over and over? So sometimes when people say government is a scam, I don't tend to argue with them because there's no reason for me to have confidence when you are saying endure and meanwhile you're not seen to be making a sacrifice. I'm not dwell too much on this, but this is truly hope that is not just deferred, but that was dead on arrival. Will it get better tomorrow? Perhaps. Is it okay today? Certainly not. That is the reality of most Nigerians. It may not be for you as an individual or for an individual, but factually, I mean, even if you have money, let me just say this in closing for this one. Even if you have money, you will feel it because all the poor people around you will still come to you for. You will feel it because they will come to you every day. And it's terrible if you are the only rich man in the midst of poor people. It's bad.
Very true. All right, but let's look at this other story here. Undemocratic LGAs, 19 states in Nigeria run 433 councils with caretaker committees. And this boils to what you were talking about, because if we're talking about development the way it should start from the grassroots, and no other sector should take care of this if not our local government councils. But when caretaker committees are running our local governments, how do you think, or do you think it's ever possible to have an even development across board?
Somehow I wish that there was, like you say, if you have an association, if the executives are messing up, you have a board of trustees
Very true.
to bring them to order. In the times of old, when you had the Greek Empire, Roman Empire, and all that, senators were supposed to be a check. They were supposed to be made up of elders who, if the king is going wrong, they will call him to correct him and, to just take wise decisions. Now, everything has gone crazy in this country. We're talking about local government. Why am I saying that? From the top to the bottom, excuse my word, top to bottom, the system is rotten. Nobody to control anybody anymore. Because the examples, the governors, there's impunity. You don't caretaker because you want to steal money that belongs to local government. And then the president nobody can call them to order because everybody is thinking about the next election. So democracy has gone to the dogs in this country. Why would you do something that is undemocratic? You're supposed to run. Caretaker committee is alien to our constitution, to the best of my knowledge.
But why is it difficult for those who should interpret the constitution not doing it?
I mean, who is controlling who? The judiciary has gone to the dogs, I'm sorry to say. They've been largely compromised. Not everybody, but largely. We're supposed to get justice from there, but you can buy justice now. The executive, I don't know. We're here, we're seeing it. I don't know what our children are going to inherit. I'm just worried for this country. So, the caretaker committee, the governors need it so that they can take money that should go to local government areas and do whatever they want to do with it. Nobody can question them. Even when they run elections, it's appointments rather than elections, because no local government election, to the best of my knowledge, especially in this Fourth Republic, is it Fourth or Third? Fourth Republic, I think.
Yes.
I don't know any local government election that has been won by the opposition in any party in this country, if any at all. Maybe about 2-3%, and because the governor just wants that to happen. Usually, if the governor is PDP, it will be PDP all the way, and those he has selected. If it's SDP, it will be SDP all the way, and those he has selected. So it's
It's a very sorry sight, if you ask me. But quickly, let's move on to our next daily. It's coming from the Guardian newspaper. And the big story here says, with hike in electricity tariff, a cost of drugs, health sector was dipping. And also on the top strip of the same newspaper, with incessant jailbreaks and national security on the thread. And on the bottom strip of the same newspaper, we have it, lawmakers, stakeholders decry fruitless 2.9 trillion naira subsidy on electricity. Tinubu's agenda, repositioning Nigeria as a global investment hub, and that's coming from Shetima. Doctor, let's take a look at two critical stories here. Number one is on the tariff hike, and of course, it's cascading to our health sector. The cost of drugs now becoming very expensive. Vulnerable Nigerians can no longer get them as they want to get them. Then secondly, all of us to look at the issue of the vice president saying that Tinubu's agenda is repositioning Nigeria for global investment. How true is that? But I'd love you to start with the last one. How true is it that Shetima is saying that Tinubu's agenda is repositioning Nigeria for global investment?
I don't expect him to say anything different. He's in the he's the presidency. He's part of the presidency. Yeah. He's vice president. So he's not going to say anything other than that. But how are you repositioning when you are destroying tourism sites? You know, saying the wrong signals. I mean, that road could still have been done. What happened could still have happened with proper discussions and negotiations. I expect that they could have had a conversation with the stakeholders and those. That thing didn't have to go public and become as messy as it did. Yeah. But it's just the impunity with which government does what it does. If you come, you call the people involved and say, guys, this is it. You know, we want to do this, and it's in national interest. And you have that conversation before. Not just go there because you think you have the power. Do you understand? And I'm told that road could have passed, but that's neither here. I'm just using it as an example. You know, and then government will not admit its own faults. Buildings that were built along canals and places without approval by the same government officials who approved them in the first place, they are now going back to punish people for what government officials did. Meanwhile, nothing is happening to those officials, whether they are retired or not. And if you ask me, I think even if they are retired, they should be brought back, tried, and if necessary, jailed or punished to act as a deterrent to those still in government. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's not happening. So when you see a lot of impunity like this, and then businesses who are just, you know, people can just look at you because they don't like your face, they just, you know, promulgate one law or something just to destroy you. That is not encouraging. You know, foreigners want to come to a place where there's ease of doing business. From the moment you land at the airport, in fact, I belong to I'm on the board of a foreign organization where we're doing a lot of things across the continent and all that. And we visited Burkina Faso recently with a delegation of business people and from the US. Yeah. Everyone was just saying because the government welcomed. You understand what I'm saying? I also know that there were some things we were to bring into this, well, we brought hospital equipment donated by UCLA. Plenty. In fact, right from what you call it, from the port, the hell that we saw for goods, things that were donated, that were supposed to be just given out to hospitals free of charge here. It was hellish. It was terrible. But in other countries, the government will even bring it. So we can't argue for Nigeria anymore. Because they say your country is, and then, if you want to bring business into this country, the politician will tell, look, my own share there is 50%, or you cannot cite it, we will not approve it. It happens every day. I'm telling you for a fact. You want to set up a factory or a company and say, look, if I don't have shares in it, forget it. I mean, the selfishness, the impunity is so much. So, what the government is saying is they're just talking. Let everything start from the airport. From the way you are received by immigration, to the way custom treats you, to the way airport officials will treat you. And then when you come into the country, there's a professor who has lived in America, was coming now for the first time in 32 years. He came in through the ports, went through Ghana, cycled through road like this. You know, when he got to Nigeria, custom first of all robbed him of how many dollars forcefully. After taking that one, on his way coming, police on their own forcefully took the rest. Of course, that man left, and I don't know what his impressions of Nigeria will be anymore. He's in Nigeria. He's come back home for the first time in 32 years. Nobody is talking about it. But it's not important to them. That's where to start from. It's these little things that matter. From how do you get your visa, how difficult it is to get a Nigerian visa. And I'm wondering, who is coming to stay in Nigeria? How many people want to come and stay in this country? Everybody is jackpotting. How many people do you think really want to come and stay in Nigeria? That you're making your visa so difficult.
Very difficult.
At what point are you making? Oh, that your country. What, you should be begging people to come here. Who wants to come and stay here now? You know, except for a few of us who are patriotic who still believe in this country. Your youths are going out. People should come in. Other countries are creating opportunities for people to come. Good brains coming to their countries. So, Shettima has said what he has said. He's trying to do PR. But I think they need to do more.
Very true.
And then secondly, but this is for also internal, there is no, what do you call that mobilization agency now? National Orientation Agency.
Yes, exactly.
People in government, listen to me. I don't know who is there. I don't care to know. The truth is that the reason we don't know is because, let me know it's the wrong language. But this is not an abuse. Non-entities. If I use the word non-entities, it could be like say abuse, not be so. Non-entities. People who don't know their left from their right. Who are just probably being compensated politically are the people they are putting there. Please, let's go back to the days of Mamsa, where we have people, capable people, like Dr. Jerry Ghana, who will come and then create proper enlightenment and help the public know what is happening, and it will do the government a lot of good.
Because right now,
this is not the job of the VP.
Yeah.
This is not the job of the VP. If they had a good person in National Orientation Agency or the Ministry of Information, if they were doing their job properly, we will have proper information.
Very true.
The VP will need to be doing PR.
Very true. So lastly, let's move on to Saturday Independent newspaper.
Was a story
there. Oh yes, the tariff hike. Yes. Yeah, still on the Guardian newspaper, of course, which the avalanche effect is coming towards the health sector. Drugs now are becoming very, very expensive, and it still boils down to what you said. How do you think we can better solve this issue?
I was in a pharmacy recently to buy drugs I would normally buy. The price of one of the drugs had gone by over 500%.
Whoa.
So that I was buying for about 7,000, 7,500 was now almost 40K.
Wow.
30-something thousand. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. And immediately what came out of my mouth is the cost of living is now, is it cost of living or cost of staying alive? Not cost of living. The cost of staying alive has now gone up the roof. It is very expensive to stay alive now.
So you just better don't get sick in Nigeria.
Well, the good thing is, as we say in pidgin English, cow will not get tail, now God they dry fly for her. That's where God, the mercy of God speaks for us. Where rich men will spend 100 million in the hospital and still die. For the same disease, a poor man will just take agbo or he will just heal naturally. It's just God. Now I will always give credit to him. If not, Nigeria's poor would have been eliminated a long time ago. So the cost of living cost of being alive rather is now so hellish. And then to talk about electricity. I was talking earlier about this issue of subsidies and all what the government did. Electricity, the things that should help what do you call it now? Businesses to thrive and create more jobs and employment have been the government has made them taking them out of the reach of businesses and the common man. The barber who can no longer afford fuel, the electricity you say let him manage is now also out of his reach.
Especially if he is found in band A, which he can't even afford.
No matter what the band is, the music isn't sounding good. Is what I would say.
Very true. All right, so finally, let's go to the Saturday Independent newspaper. And the big story there says federal roads rehabilitation, mismanagement, competing priorities, federal government's promise a year after. That's coming from analyst. And the writer there says road maintenance agency received 66.72 billion naira. But nothing is done, and the government working but needs to do more. And that comes from community leaders. On the top strip of the same newspaper, we have federal government sets to boost economy with abundant gas resources. On the bottom strip of the same newspaper, no plot by Atiku Obi can stop Tinubu's survival re-election in 2027, and that's coming from an APC group. Doctor. Yes, we understand the fact that there have been lots of compromise, and especially from the system, from the umpire, from lots of people who are supposed to ensure that there's good and credible election in Nigeria. But do you think there's a threat from the APC group? It's we should take it lightly.
I think it's too early for anybody to boast. It's too early for anyone to boast. Why do I say so? First of all, nobody has tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Let us be alive in 2027. And then we can say, nobody, no power. Secondly, I think people should just focus on governance and do the right thing so that what you do will speak for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? If the economy continues the way it is going now, I don't know whether the same person who made that statement will be able to say the same thing by 2027. God keeps us all alive. So I think that it's too early to speak or to brag. And any opposition is formidable, no matter how small you think it could be. And to say that Atiku and Obi, if they join forces together, they cannot do anything. I don't know. First of all, Atiku has not won nomination for 2027 to represent any party yet. Neither has Obi won nomination to represent any party. Neither is Tinubu on the ballot for 2027 or Shetima on the ballot. It's early days yet. Let us focus on what is going on now.
Very true.
If they are alive, if their parties present them, then we can begin to talk about this.
All right, so please, in 60 seconds, if you may, let's speak to the issue of, I understand that some of these things are inevitable. Fire Gods NNPC Apapa Tank Farm in Lagos. Do you sense or do you see any sort of shilly-shally on the part of the government and those responsible not doing what they are supposed to do, especially when you look at the fracas between independent marketers and the honcho in the room, NNPC? Do you think this could be a sabotage in any way?
I also think, usually it's easy to sit down here and then just say there's sabotage or I sense sabotage. I still think there's room for investigation. We're not sure. Fire happens. Anything can cause it. But of course, institutions and organizations like that usually have the highest safety standards, which means there should be even zero tolerance for anything like that because of the conflagration that can ensue therefrom and how dangerous it can be, not just to the tank farm, but its immediate environment and the neighborhood. So I don't know to what extent it went, whether it was checked early, but certainly I don't think it lasted. Otherwise we would have heard about it.
Yeah, very true.
So these things happen. In California, you have bushfires.
In Canada, we have lots of wildfires and all.
So these things happen. So that's what I'll say.
Oh, all right. So that's just about the time we have for our newspaper reviews. We'd love to say thank you to Dr. Victor Ohai. I'd also love to let you know that he will be hanging out around to take us on our main conversation for today. But when we return, British journalist Christopher Wilson slams Duke and Duchess of Sussex for visiting Nigeria. More details in a bit when we return. Please don't go anywhere.